Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got a small carburetor that I need cleaning, and I have this small central machinery ultrasonic cleaner that I use. This is your Harbor Freight special here. I think it's a 2.5 liter ultrasonic cleaner. I've had good luck with it. So this carburetor is going to be used on the Honda Z50, which is right next to me. I purchased a Chinese replica of a Mikuni that was supposed to be genuine, but the wording, you know, after looking at it, the wording says it's a genuine copy, which is kind of BS. But there's a whole bunch of issues with this carburetor. Just a lot of the tolerances are off. But I have a KX65 dirt bike, and that has the same carburetor, but a real one, but a 24 millimeter version of it. And so that you know, that should be fine. I could tell you right off the get-go, even though it's really dirty, there's a clear difference between the Chinese one and the real Mikunis. So, but yeah, as you can see, it's filthy. Your typical dirt bike carburetor here, especially, you know, with gas and oil going through it. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and take it apart. You know, you don't really want any of the rubber components in the ultrasonic cleaner. And I'm just going to use tap water. A lot of people use distilled water, which I'd probably recommend, but I'm just going to use tap water and a mixture of some dish detergent. One thing you want to look out for if you're going to use some kind of chemical cleaner, that a lot of times it's not safe for aluminum products. So whenever you see some of the guys using the ultrasonic cleaner with aluminum carburetor and it comes out like dark, it's because it wasn't aluminum compatible. So I'll go ahead and take this carburetor apart. These aren't too complicated here, so but if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Just post them on the comments. So we'll go ahead and remove all our lines here, and that's just a matter of pulling those off. Well, that one's been on there for a little while. And we got this guy up here. Might be better off just cutting it sometimes. These lines always get brittle, so I try not to reuse them. You could actually buy a roll of this line pretty much anywhere online. Then we got the gas line on top. Okay. So I already took out the slide, and it looks like to be in really good shape. And I'll just show you kind of down here. But yeah, I already took apart the slide. Here's your cap, then the spring. Here's your slide, the retainer to make sure the needle stays in, and here's the needle itself. I suspect that these are all stock parts off a KX65. Mine's based out of 2006, I think. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start taking some of these parts apart. Okay, it actually looks pretty nice in there. Okay, so we got the insides of the carb now. Here's your float ball, and there's a little pin that if you want to push out, I'm just using a small Allen. That just slides out. Then your bowl comes out. And if you look at your, this is your float needle. There's a little retainer on there to make sure that the float bowl will hold it up and down. So there's no slop to it. I didn't see that on the Chinese version. Okay. So then we have the main jet, which is here. Then the pilot jet is up front. So this is a 6 mil. So if you look here, the whole part came out. The actual main jet is just this top part. So I'll put an 8 mil on this part and then the 6 mil to separate the two. I'll just put this part in the cleaner, but not the jet itself, because I'll use a different jet. And to get your pilot out, it's just a small flat blade will do it. Okay. And there's a little pilot jet. So we'll take apart this piece here. All that does is when the fuel comes in from the top, it comes through, and then the fuel jet, this guy here, allows the gas to come in and out. But I think there is a small gasket underneath this. So this is a 10 mil. We'll go ahead and take that apart. Yep. So that's my concern here. There is a small gasket. So that leaves everything on the bottom ready to go. So we'll go ahead and pull apart. This is your idle screw. Okay, and what this does, when it's all the way in, it pokes in on the inside and prevents your slide from going all the way down. Okay, then we have your air mixture screw, and that's just a small flat blade. Okay, so be careful when you remove this, because there is going to be a spring in there, but that's all that's to the air mixture screw. Flip it upside down, there should be a screw that comes out, or a spring. And there's a spring. Okay, then we have your choke, and we just got to unscrew this here, which will be a 12 mil. Okay, and there's nothing in there. So that leaves us with the body. So this will be ready to be cleaned. I'll put the bowl in there as well. I'll remove the gasket. All right, there's the gasket. We'll leave that alone. So that's ready for the parts bin, and I'll put the cap in there. And I'll put the I don't know if you call this a needle as well, but where the main jet goes in, and then the needle for the mixture, mid-range mixture, that will go in the cleaner as well. And I'll leave everything else out. All right, so I got some water in here. It is warm water to help it. This model ultrasonic cleaner does come with a feature to have the water be warm as well, so I'll be using that. But we're gonna try some dish soap here, and I don't know how much to put in. 1, 2, and 3. So that might be quite a bit. It's hard to say. But we'll go ahead and drop our carburetor body in, our float bowl, our needle, and the cap. Okay, I might put a little bit more detergent in. Okay. So what we do now, we got a cover for it. And your third button in says set, so you could pick how many it's either seconds or minutes. I'm pretty sure it's seconds. Okay, so we'll turn on the TC, which is your temperature, and then we just hit on. Then you got a green light showing you that the ultrasonic cleaner is working. So we'll just let it do its thing and come back to it. But yeah, so obviously it's seconds, and I'll probably do a 2 or 3 runs of this just to let it stay in there and clean. So we'll give it a few cycles, and then we'll be back. Okay, we're back at the cleaner here. I did 3 cycles of 480 seconds, and what I did, every cycle I kind of just turned the carb one direction or the other. I will say, here's a look at the water. The water's really hot, by the way. But yeah, so obviously it's working, and this is what I get after. So it looks great. There's a couple little spots where some stuff kind of hung around. So, but what I'll do is I'll take the air compressor and just kind of blow out the ports. Okay, there's the bowl. Obviously, it looks very nice. There's the cap. That was real dirty. So, and then I have the jets. Looks great. So I think that's all we had in there. Whew, that's hot. That is very hot. Okay, so we're done with that. I'll dump the water out, but I'll go ahead and blow out all the ports, make sure everything's out of there, and just dry it up. Okay, so I got this little nozzle here with air, then I'll blow everything out. Okay, yeah, blowing it off, cleaned off all the little spots I was worried about. So yeah, this thing looks squeaky clean, so real happy with everything. So I'll go ahead and put it back together. All right, we'll get this back together pretty much how we took it apart, really. We got our choke assembly. Got the idle screw. I don't know if you could see that, but the more I turn it in, the more it's gonna show up inside. It'd be hard for the camera to pick that up. All right, then we'll put this in for the float needle. And this is for the main jet. It goes right in the middle. Okay. Then we'll put the the float needle. I'm not even sure the correct term is for that, but that actually slides into the center part. Then you fit the whole assembly right there. Then you gotta slide this pin in. Okay, once you have that right, that's going to move nice and freely. Okay. And then we have the mixture screw. It goes on the side. Let me go get a screwdriver. Okay, we're going to tighten that one all the way, but don't put too much pressure once it's in all the way. We just want to go in till we feel resistance. I think I need a smaller flat blade. Flat blade. Okay, there's my resistance, and I'm going to turn out 1.5 turns. Let me make sure I got that right. 1.5. That should get us pretty close. And at that point, I just need to fit my pilot and my main jet, and I'll put my cover back on. And once I get it in the bike, I'll reassemble the whole slide assembly. But I'm probably going to start with a 117.5, or excuse me, a 17.5 pilot and a 120 main. Well, hey guys, hopefully that answered any questions you have on that ultrasonic cleaner. And you know, I highly recommend it for the amount of times I've used it. It's definitely paid for itself and made things a lot easier. And that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.